Hello, my name is Thomas Griffin, and this is my Mastery Journal timeline for Full Sail University. This is my presentation. There are 12 courses in the program, and I'm hoping to obtain at least 3 different goals from each course. The first course I'm going to be taking is Mastery, Personal Development, and Leadership. The 3 goals that I want to take from the class are learning the concepts of mastery, tools to expand upon my mastery journey, and strategies to help me further my career path. A majority of this is going to be from the textbook mastery supplied to us in the class, and of course my own individual research. The next class is game design. Taking this at the master's level is a bit different, and I'm hoping to work more with Unreal Engine and to program with C++, as I didn't get to do these things on the undergrad side of things. And, of course, learn some new design techniques along the way. Whether it's through YouTube videos or my own research or through classwork, I'm more than willing to do so. Game Production Tools is a class that I'm very excited to take because it is my goal to become a game producer. I want to learn some project management tips that maybe I wasn't aware of. I want to learn some advanced types of game production systems here and in later classes, and I want to learn about the pros and cons of game production, what things I should be doing and focusing on, and what things I should not be focusing on. Methods in the user experience, I want to learn about user engagement, how to make a game marketable and successful, and then of course, how to identify a successful game product. What makes a game successful? What makes it hit well with the user? These are things that I want to learn in this class. For quality assurance, it's something that game designers are aware of, but maybe not as much as a class would really spectate for us. So building an effective QA system would be really good for me, learning some new techniques for such, and then of course, what industry standards would mean for quality assurance. How would quality assurance accord to a game design standard? How would I be able to translate that? That's what I'm really hoping to take away from the class. User research data analysis was one that I really had to look up a lot on the course's site. For this class, the 3 goals that I want are to learn how to analyze customer feedback. A lot of times we're told customer feedback can vary, but then I want to understand how the client will give feedback and then really good ways to address the client, new strategies to do as such. And then, of course, I want to understand the importance of data research to help make a game more marketable and help me how to reach out to the clients a bit more. In prototyping and content creation, I want to be able to, after I finish this class and during this class, I want to learn how to prototype a lot faster and a lot more effective so that I can meet the goals of the industry. I want to be able to convert more prototypes in a different manner. I want to be able to make more prototypes that could ultimately be a bit more neater, a bit more cleaner, and a bit more pleasant looking. I also want to learn some new strategies on how to prototype for the industry. So maybe there's some things in the class that they can teach me about prototyping that I wasn't previously aware of. Advanced production techniques is again another class that I'm really excited for because it's for my goal to be a game producer. I want to learn how to adhere to production rules in the workplace. I want to make sure that I'm becoming a more polished game producer by the end of the class. And I'm sure in this class I'm going to be learning all kinds of new tools to make me a better producer, but I'm really hoping that I'm able to do that, and anything that will help me become a successful producer is something I'm willing to do. Advanced Design Workshop is, from what I've heard, more prototyping, but I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that. I want to learn more about advanced design, as the name states. I want to learn how to be more of a problem solver than a problem causer. I want to be able to work with any kind of game genre, whether it's an RPG, whether it's a first-person shooter, whether it's a mobile game, any kind of game. And most importantly, I want to learn how to write code for a console game. I know this might seem like a stretch, but this is something that I've really not had the chance to do. I haven't worked with a AAA company. I haven't been able to make a game for a console yet. I really would like to at least learn what kind of things I would need to know to do such. Asset management, I want to make sure that I'm learning strategies to manage my production of assets, scheduling strategies for planning deadlines, And I want to be able to figure out if I can learn how to create new types of assets with game engines. Maybe there's assets I can make that really aren't too complex that I wasn't aware of before. For this class, I want to learn how to use applied science for testing products. I want to make sure that I'm introducing myself on how to create new systems. That was something in the curriculum that they tell you that you're going to be able to make reward systems and things of that nature, and I'm really hoping I can learn how to program them both in C# and C++. I'm also hoping to master more common game mechanics. This is something that I really should know by now, and I do, but I want to make sure that the more I learn throughout the classes, the more I can do things a lot quicker, and it's almost second nature to me. Programming the simplest of things or designing the simplest of things, even though it is my goal to become a producer, I still would like to have this knowledge to take with me, because even if I'm working on my own or with a company and I'm able to sort of step in and help out with problems, I would like to have this knowledge. I think it will be very helpful. And this is the class that I'm most excited for, not just because it's the final class in the program, but because it is something I can add to my portfolio. This is my thesis class. I earned my master's degree, of course, that's the goal I want. I want to be able to add a new project to my portfolio. At the end of my undergraduate program at Full Sail, I was able to add my capstone to my portfolio. I'm hoping I can do the same for my master's class. And I want to write a really outstanding thesis. I know that's probably what I'm going to have to do anyway, but I want mine to be a bit more special. I want it to be something that I can be proud of for a long time. Clubs and organizations that I have chosen to look up: the International Game Developers Association, the National Video Game Association, and of course, the Game Development World Championship. Naughty Dog, as the description says, it's always had a very special place in my heart. It was the very first game that I've ever played in my entire life was Crash Bandicoot back in the late 90s, and that's what really sparked my love of gaming and game design in general. I know Crash Bandicoot's a platformer, and it might not have been as complex as games nowadays, but it was one of my favorites and still is to this day. I'd also be lying if I said The Last of Us wasn't one of them too. But Naughty Dog would be a great studio to work for. They have a great culture. I follow them on LinkedIn. They are a great company. Of course, The Sims is one of my favorite games. Will Wright is one of my favorite game designers. I've done many reports on him, both in my graduate studies and my undergraduate studies. They have studios in California and Orlando, as well as many other places. I would love to work at their studio in Florida simply because I always wanted to live down there, and it would be a sweet goal to do such. Rockstar is a studio I'm very familiar with. I've played a lot of their games, much like Naughty Dog, but a bit different because their games are more tailored to a different audience. Red Dead Redemption, Max Payne, Grand Theft Auto, I've played all of these. I'm very, very happy to play them. They have a studio actually near me in Andover, Massachusetts. I've applied there a few times. I'd love to apply there again when I graduate. That would be really cool if I can land an interview with a producer or a designer, hopefully a producer, but anything I'd be happy with. SciPlay, little fun fact about this, I was able to get my foot in the door and learn a lot about this company through an interview. And now that I know a lot about them, I would love to try to land another interview with them when I graduate. That would be really special because they were one of the only companies to actually consider me and reach out to me without my master's. And once I get my master's and become more of an asset to employers, to companies, I would love to hear back from this company if that was the case. And Bethesda is the last company I've chosen. Their work with RPGs is really something special. It takes a long time to make them, but the wait is well worth it, and there's so much that goes into their games. They are a very special studio, and I'd be honored to work with them. I know in my description I put Elder Scrolls title, but of course any title is fun. Elder Scrolls is just one of my personal favorites, which is why I listed it. For the Full Sail community, there are a few clubs that I saw, and these are the 5 clubs that I saw that would most relate to my game design studies and would, I feel, be fun to join and would benefit me as well. These 6 mentor qualities that I have are listed here. Whoever I am able to find that has these qualities would be someone that I'd love to tailor my career after. And here is my timeline for graduation. The 12 classes are listed. I started September of 2020. And of course, this is the first 4 classes, and then it continues